Okay. Okay. You see how if you play all the triads chromatically, you play like 12 chords right there, different scales. That's one of the ways you can master your chords on the keyboard. Now, for you to play the major scale, very easily, is to know how the scale is structured. You know, you have to understand that when you play the major scale on any major scale, you have 7 notes. Okay, and then between note number 3 and note number 4, there's only half step interval. Between note number 7 and number 8, there's only half step interval. Okay, so now all the intervals, when you play the scale, you play the notes successively. All the other intervals are whole steps. Okay, it's when you get to play number the interval between 3 and 4 and the interval between 7 and 8. Is when you get to those intervals that you play halves. You play half step. Okay, so I can give you an example. C, for example, C major scale. We're gonna play whole from C to D. That's a whole step. That's 2 half step. Okay, and you play from D to E. That's a whole step. Now from 3 to 4, that's a half step. Okay, then now from F to G, that's a whole step. From G to A, that's a whole step. From A to B, that's a whole step. Now from B to C, which is 7 and 8, that's a half step. So basically, for you to play any major chord easily, is to play. You play. Let's say you play 1 whole step here, 2 whole step here, and then you got your half step. Okay, it's whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Then you play whole step, half step. If you do that on the keyboard, you will play any major scale starting on any key on the keyboard. Okay, you start with whole step, half step, whole step, half step. That means you play 2 whole steps. You play 2 whole steps followed by 1 half steps, and you play another 3 whole steps followed by half step, 1 half step. Okay, whole step, half step, whole step, half step. That's your major scale. You can if you apply this formula then you will be able to play any major scale starting on any key on the keyboard. There's another way you can do it. You can try to divide the major scale into two subdivisions of the scale, two subdivisions of 4 notes, okay, which you can call tetra chord or tetra section of the major scale. So what you do, tetra means four notes. So you're gonna divide the major scale into two subdivisions of 4 notes. Okay, you start with C, whole step, half step. Okay, that's 4 notes. From C to F, that's your first tetra section, your first tetra chord with 2 whole step and 1 half step. Let's try that. From C to F, C major scale. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means C, D, E, F. That's your first subdivision of the C major scale. Okay, there's a half step in it. Whole step, half step. Now, the second subdivision of 4 notes you can practice in the major scale, such as in the C major scale, starts on the 5th note of the scale. In the case of C major, that's G. And this subdivision starting on the 5th of the scale also has 4 notes. And those 4 notes and the intervals is the interval is the same as the first, as the intervals are the same as in the first tetra chord, the first tetra subdivision. Okay, it's whole step, and half steps, and half step. Whole step, half step. 1, 2, 3, 4 notes. That's your second subdivision of 4 notes. So we can try that, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, one is G, A, B, C. Okay. So now, what you got left now, see, from G to C is whole step, and half step. Same thing as your first subdivision. Starting on C, whole step, half step. Now what you have left now is 1 whole step between F and G, between 4 and 5. Okay, that's what you have. That whole step separates. Your 2 subdivision of 4 notes, which you can call tetra sections or tetra chords. Then if you do that, if you apply this concept, you will be able to play any major chord, any major scale, starting on any key on the keyboard. You want to try one? Okay. Let's try C sharp. Okay. Let's try C sharp. All right. This is C, middle C, right? We go to C sharp. We will C half step. Okay. Now we're going to play remember the formula for the major scale. Okay, your first tetra section, your first tetra subdivision is whole step. Okay, one whole step. I'm going to be my first whole step is C sharp to D sharp. Okay, that's a whole step. Okay, and the second whole step is going to be from D sharp to note number 3. That's F. Okay, that's F. That's yeah, that's it. So you got one whole step from C sharp to D sharp. You got a whole step, and from D sharp to F, you got another whole step. Now, the only thing you need now to complete your first subdivision of four notes is to play one half step. Okay, which is now your half step is gonna be F sharp. So you can play your first tetra chord in C sharp. Okay, that's 4 notes. Okay, whole step, half step. Okay, now let's play our second subdivision of 4 notes, tetra section of tetra chord, starting on the 5th note of this C sharp major scale. What is it? It's C sharp. Okay. Okay. Now let's play 4 notes. Whole step. That's G sharp to A sharp. Whole step. That's a whole step. Whole step. Now we need half step, right? And we play C sharp. Okay. Whole step, half step. Now you have your 2 subdivision of 4 notes in the major scale. Okay. Now we're gonna let's find the whole step that separate the 2 sections. Okay, so the first section ended with F sharp, and then okay, so now and then we started the second one with G sharp. Now the whole step that separates the 2 is F sharp and G sharp. That's a whole step that separates the 2 tetra chord, or the 2 tetra subdivision of the major scale. Now after you do that, you can play the entire scale. Okay, by playing your first tetra chord, yeah, your first tetra section, and you play your second tetra section. That's it. That's the way. If you apply this formula I just gave you, you will be able to play any major scale on the keyboard. You can start anywhere, or go with G then. Start with G sharp. Okay, whole step, half step. Okay. Now let's skip 1. Okay, 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Okay, let's go to 5 now. Let's go to note number 5 to play our second tetra section, our second tetra chord. whole step, half step. Okay, let's do it again. F sharp, whole step, half step. Okay, now let's go to that's number 4. No, that's good. Let's go to note number 5 to play the other half, the other tetra half. Whole step, half step. Now we can play. Let's play the entire scale. I hope you get the idea, and I hope you will be able to practice your triad. You know, just you know, just like I showed you. And next time, what we're gonna do, we're going to expand the triad. Okay, and also we're gonna try other type of triad. Yeah, we're going to try to play other types of triad. Example, minor triad, like for example, C minor triad or G minor triad or A minor triad, and so on. We're gonna see all these things. All I need from you is to keep watching the videos, and then that way we will have a lot of fun. Okay.